Welcome to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say your support is really overwhelming. If you are watching our channel for the first time, with profound humility, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Also like our videos so that YouTube can recommend them even to more viewers. The relationship between Martha Koome, the Judiciary President, and William Samoei Ruto, who is the executive president, will soon be sacrificed at the altar of justice for the people. The relationship between these two started some way back last year when the judiciary united to throw away the BBI, and then later they thwarted every prayer from Azimio after the hotly contested elections. And today, the GMO drama, genetically modified maize, ended up at the court. Some Kenyans, calling themselves under the umbrella of peasant, went to court, and the court has set aside and stopped any importation of GMO, stopped any distribution of the same. And this relationship has given us a bag that is full of mix-up. One, when the cases against the DP were brought to book, all of them have been dropped as a result of quote-unquote political witch hunt. And Nurdin Haji and the court said that the previous administration was on a fishing expedition, and they were targeting those who were supporting William Ruto. But on the other end, the court ruled that the formation of the CAS, chief administrative secretaries that Ruto wanted to appoint, were considered unconstitutional. And today, the relationship is being tested again. And two things are happening at the same time. The security that is attached to the second lady, Madam Dorcas, assaulted some Kenyan. And the police is saying that they're going to investigate whatever happened so that the perpetrators will be brought to book. And Kenyans are asking if justice will be achieved. The GMO saga is one that has attracted debate across the nation. Opposition and the church have ganged up to condemn the manner in which the GMO is forced down the throat to Kenyans. And they are saying that 10 years ago, the cabinet sat down and they decided that GMO is not allowed in the country. But immediately Ruto came into power. That ban was lifted. And the court said that today all the parties must be served with the petition materials and then response by 13th. And this 13th of December, this case will be mentioned on 15th of December. Now the church and the opposition feel that this matter is so weighty that it should not be rushed. And they're saying that public participation is paramount. Kenyans must be allowed to choose what they want to do. All the stakeholders must come together and find a way. They're arguing, for example, that we must have a policy framework where if there is a GMO material and you get into a shop, then you must know that this is organic and this is GMO. It must be labeled. And others feel that maybe the government is playing to the gallery of some Western powers who they say, quote unquote, aided their victory in the general election. But our courts are under scrutiny because if you ask some Kenyans, they feel that we have a court, we have courts of law, but not courts of justice in Kenya. In fact, many feel that there is no need of going to court. If you ask, you will be told that very many Kenyans feel that if there is any case that is pitting you against the executive, then you better not go to the courts, because they feel that the court and the judiciary and the executive are now twin brothers enjoying the same bed. And now this relationship is being tested, because at the heart of this administration is this GMO thing. The other time, we saw Bill Gates jet into the country. And one of the things that we believe was discussed in State House was the GMO. It is time for payback. And this administration must now reciprocate to the West according to the agreement. And so I'm just wondering, will the courts have the audacity to instruct and stop the government from forcing people with the GMO? Because already this matter is so weighty that the executive gave some orders to the Kenya Kwanza team who are opposing this, and people like Cheregei are now in fear because William Ruto cracked the whip. Anybody who is opposing this will be reprimanded. And that tells you just how important this GMO thing is to the government. And with the opposition that is shouting loud and urging Kenyans not to accept this GMO, it is going to be a very precarious situation to William Ruto. Already, Kenya is grappling with very many matters, and the opposition is saying that very soon they will go to the street to protest Oster, an attempt of Oster to Cherera. So if this thing comes now, what will happen? Our courts have planned this on December. But if you ask many, they feel that by the end of it all, a ruling will be made, but it will favor the executive. And if there is one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that might even tarnish this relationship, and that's what I'm saying, that it will soon be sacrificed at the altar of justice for Kenyans, is that the government is grappling with very many illegalities or confusion that the courts cannot help. They can favor you in some, but in others they will not. And so one day the courts will be tired and they will say enough is enough. If we had an agreement, we have done our part. And now we need to look at issues according to the constitution and are being guided by the penal courts, not guided by our warm relationships. And so William Ruto and Moses Kuria are on the spot. How this matter is going to be determined will also determine the intensity of faith that Kenyans will have on the judiciary. Because already there is suspicion. You mention the name Martha Koome, of course the Kenya Kwanza team will love her. But majority of the Zimbi supporters still feel that she is non-partisan. The other time they lined up to receive the president when he was going to make his first speech at the National Assembly. And even the supporters of William Ruto, people like Abdel Nasir, criticized this, and they said that we need judicial independence, because without that independence there will be no justice at all. And let me tell you something. If the government decides to turn around to interfere with the judiciary, where will they run to? Because sometimes the government can even decide, because in the last regime, the judiciary and the executive were not enjoying amicable relationship. If that happens today, will they run to Kenyans? Because Kenyans have a way of forcing things. They can go to the streets they can protest on tweets and everything, they can boycott a few things. Now, if in the event that the executive now turns against the judiciary, will Madam Martha Koome come to the people and maybe say, look, these people are after us? It will be a tall order, because Kenyans feel that this is the time they need to stand firm. Do you think there is neutrality in this judiciary? Do you think they are guided by the penal code when a case faces you against the executive? Do you think the Kenyan who was assaulted by the security officer from the second lady will get justice? Because all the cases against the GP, land cases and all the corruption cases have been dropped. Those of Aisha Jumwa have been dropped. John Waluke, who was opposing the government, was released on bond, and immediately he swore allegiance to William Ruto, and I can assure you that those cases might just be dropped. The former governors who have got corruption cases on their back, some of who served for 10 years under Azimio, have switched camps, and they are now supporting William Ruto. Because when you support the executive, you are protected and no one will follow you. Mr. Nurdin Haji, who is supposed to have an independent office and is not supposed even to take orders from a third party, confirmed to the whole nation that he was taking orders from George Kinoti. I don't know whether he wanted to frame him, but in doing that, he also alluded to a fact that he committed a crime. He went against the Kenyan constitution. The EACC are playing to the executive gallery. That is the perception. So, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Koome is on the spot, and we are waiting to see if the ruling is going to be one that is non-partisan, because we have not forgotten about the wild goose chase and hot air. Waiting with bated breath to get this ruling. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Your guess is as good as mine, and that's my take.